Buongiorno, buonasera, buon pomeriggio. Hello, Mike. How are you?
Hello, mate. Hello. Yeah, really good. Thank you. How you doing? You well?
Very good, very good. Just end up chatting with a really good lad, a good mate. This guy
Bit of
here,
the DJ.
the DJ. Fun fact. We didn't speak about music because we had 45 minutes going deep in all over all the situation, but we're gonna speak about music another time with Pietro Ceccarelli, which is now premiering the new podcast. But stop that, watch it later on. Stay with us now on this, right?
End of the
Mr.
pod.
Gamber and Phantom already in the chat. We are everywhere as usual, live on YouTube for the Monday podcast, and you can listen to us on Spotify, all the platform later this week. That's it. Boom. So, shall we just go straight and dig into rugby market, or shall we start with the game? Mike, what do you think?
It's like asking, you know, the good news, bad news. Which one do you want first? I always want the bad news first, and then we'll end it on a happy tone, shall we?
Let's move to Ireland versus Italy, second round of the Six Nation to start. Mike, we were together in the live streaming, so we watched together the game. But your thoughts about the game, and then we can go deep into some situations.
I mean, overall, I expected 20, 30 points if we weren't able to relent the machine that is the green machine, the new green machine, like the box, which is Ireland. And I fully expected it to be a tough day at the office if we weren't able to stop them. I am a little bit disappointed that we got nilled. I've got to be honest, but at the end of the day, probably the best team in the world. Let's call a duck. Probably the best team in the world. We're not there. We're not there yet.
Yeah, we are not there yet. We're still fighting. Of course, we are here still supporting the team.
Always.
And we're gonna keep talking about this. Yes, probably what hurts more is the fact that we didn't score. Our attacking was almost let's say nullified, just because we went to zero. Neither we took those 3 points at the beginning, and we struggle on the set piece. All MVP. So that's probably a big thing. We were trying to build on something that we show during the last weekend, Italy-England, when we were in Rome. But tough situation there for second row, for props, for everybody.
Yeah, it was a tough day at the office for everyone. I think, one thing that I take solace out of, right, is that we as a team need to raise our general standard to compete with the best team in the world, right? Like, it's not something that we didn't know about as Italian fans.
Of course.
It's like anyone who thought we were going to go in and put 20 on Ireland, unfortunately, we're not there yet, right? So it's something that, it was a tough lesson, but I think actually, and I said it in our chat as well, if there was any point for us to almost like do a full audit of everything that's wrong, or everything that needs improvement of our game, Ireland basically gave us everything that we need to improve to be competitive, right? Like everything, line speed, like they obviously we're going to go for a full breakdown, but we learned a lot of lessons against Ireland, which is if we can take some positives out, that's a big positive for me.
Of course, the defeat is there, but you have to learn from defeats to be stronger, to be better. Today, Mr. Coach Moretti put something really interesting on the let me check on one of the stories, which was a Winston Churchill quote. Then let's take it like it is. But success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Probably these are the right words to explain a little bit what we have to do, because we want more consistency, but they know what they're working on. And I like to have seen Lamaro pretty mad at the end of during the press. I see him like he was going to release some of the pressure, speaking a little bit differently than usual, which is great for a captain to advise, to point some questions on the work. They're doing a lot of work. They know they effed up or whatever in some areas, but they're still working and they're fighting for it. So
Yeah.
they're the first people to be mad.
Yeah, and you know, like we can pick we can pick a million different sort of proverbs, and you know, but the one that sticks, and you know, credit to our captain, one that's probably best used here is Rome wasn't built in a day, right? Like we have to go through these processes. We need to learn, you know, this pain to be a better team. But I think it's something that we have those lessons now. Like we've got a sheet of everything that we need to improve. We're good. It's now is the point coming up to next game. Now is the point where Quesada proves his capability as a test level head coach. Like now is the point where we're like, okay, scratch what happened. It was a lesson. What are we going to do with this lesson? Like these notes, are we gonna learn from them? Are we going to improve on them? Are we going to put them in place against France? How do we compare against France? Positive outcome, great coach. Negative outcome, still needs a bit of work. Do you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that's sort of where I'm at.
yeah, of course. And let's going into the game. Which areas you think improve or stay on a regular form that you want? Somehow, what? Tell me. Go ahead.
For me, it's tough because obviously, if you look at stats and you base everything on stats, you see 209 tackles and 89% tackle success rate is
So in
great,
theory, it's
right?
good, right?
It's good. But passively, so every time that they were carrying, they were making yards, right? We needed quicker line speed. So ironically, I say what got us in trouble was our defense, even though statistically it was good, right? Like statistically, it looked, you know, near the 90% mark that test defenses should be. But I think it's something that we were too passive. We weren't able to slow down their ruck enough. They were too effective with less resources in our rucks. And yeah, it's just defensively and offensive rucks as well. So
So
that's
on that, there is Lucio. Big Lucio is doing great work already on the rack, number of attacking players in rack in attack and defense. So shout out to Lucio, big one that
big
is
Lucio.
already doing a lot of good stuff. I just had a look on some stats, and now we're gonna go maybe something we can define about this game, because we didn't have a lot of possession in general, attacking possession in their opposite. Maybe possession was something, but far away from the 22, right?
Territory wise, yeah, I understand.
Something that I liked in some way, maybe it's the aerial battle wasn't so bad, but probably because we were not so tested there during the game, like box kicking, going to catch back the ball. They went straight more playing, more moving back long, right?
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
probably an area that went better, I think.
yeah.
The
No,
positive in there.
I agree. And you know, we were talking in the game, but for you guys who missed the watch along, at half time, I think Pahani kicked the ball 4 times. One, he managed to. It was an up and under. He managed to retain possession. Once, it went to low, and he managed to monster low. One was just a bad kick, but like there was, if we're looking at net positives, there was a net positive there. Capozzo was far better in the air than I would have given him credit for, so I'll hold my hands up. Fair play, right? But
yeah, today is the but day.
So this is now the trade-off, right? If we're looking at test fullbacks, what is more important? Is it more important to have a monster boot like loaded, kicking long round the back, forcing defenses to turn, giving time for you guys to have set defense in midfield? Or is it counter attack, someone with an eye for a gap? Like this is where we're finding ourselves with our selection at the back, if we're taking Tommy Allen out of it, you know?
Look, Gabriele is saying he's happy how we are going because we are without 5 players in the tight five. Let's say in the scrum, Riccioni and Ferrari, Lamb, Lorenzo Cannone and Negri. So probably some of the lessons are have been taken by the former debutants like Izegor, maybe Zuliani. We're gonna see a little bit more of Vincent. So we probably knew some of those players like Izegor and Zuliani, that we can understand also why Seb Negri is still so important in this team when
Yeah.
you need a big carrier just off 9 and smashing, and when you have to adapt to those situations. Like Izegor can do that kind of game because he can do it like a crash ball just off the line out. He did it against Munster, that kind of game. But also Zuliani has to do something different from his skill set. Probably is gonna be more all around players. And that is something that we have to think about.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think as well, we find ourselves in a position where now, like, we're a test rugby team, and you think that like the skill sets of players are really well developed, but actually, when we're playing players out of position, out of necessity, or playing players out of
Or
role,
game
which is
plan.
probably better. Yeah, role game plan. We find ourselves a little bit exposed, and um, hopefully, obviously, this is something Casada's realised. We've got a skills coach now, right? So we've got someone specific to look at skills, and
We are back on a skill coach because we didn't have a skill coach during the World Cup too. So
yeah, we had a consultant instead.
yes.
So yeah, I'm genuinely like, I messaged you this morning, didn't I? I was like, how do you feel after yesterday? Because I think it was a little bit sore for us. We're fans, obviously. We want our nation, we want our rugby team to do well. But this morning, I'm okay with it. A
Oh,
lot better
absolutely.
than I was yesterday. And I think it's because we've had time, like,
To settle down and think.
yeah, like it's sometimes, yes, we had a poor game. Lineup needs to be fixed immediately, right? But that's not because necessarily, like the thrower was in the wrong, or the jumpers were in the wrong, if there was a miscommunication. Ireland was so good.
Ireland was good, but we have to rethink some strategies around that. We were good on the quick, of course, the line out with on the prop, passing the ball,
Yeah,
and
sure.
then of course we have to understand how to move better. Ruzza was always really able to move front back from the middle, going to the tail, something that Zambonin is trying to do. He's doing it really well at Zebra. We have to say that because it's true. Great improvement there. But of course, if you play with Ruzza, if you're gonna put a lock, the opposite lock, like Itoje 2 weeks ago. I remember once. He's just, sorry if you hear my cats, but they're
I know
fighting.
you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, the classic. Let me just throw them something. They just stop, because if not, I'm ready to send them something and see what's gonna happen. Yes, no hard things, but
No,
gloves.
you're fine. You're fine. So, I completely agree, man. I think,
Toshi called him on 1-1, he was saying 2 weeks ago, and we know everything is on Ruzza. Last Six Nation, we were really good in the line out, but still was Ruzza the most catch in the air, 42, I think.
yeah,
Catch in the air.
he had more than the first two combined, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And now we are down on 72% our efficiency in the line out after this game, which has to be improved quick against Woki, that is going to jump in front every line out in 2 weeks.
Doesn't get easier, does it? Just doesn't get easier.
No, no, they're gonna put two players, Antonio, maybe if he's playing or somebody else,
Yeah.
just lifting by himself, Woki on the front. That is gonna be.
Oof.
I can say
Yeah.
now in 2 weeks, that is, if he's gonna play Woki, he's gonna be there, jumping up. But hey, they're gonna find new strategies. They have 2 weeks to think about that.
Well, that's it. That's it. There's time, isn't there? It's not like it's a week or 6 days turnaround, and we're getting 2 training sessions in. We've got 2 weeks. We've got a long list of stuff that we need to look at ahead of France, who, let's be honest, they're going to be looking at this game like licking their lips a little bit, especially after being, let's be honest, like sort of fairly fortuitous at the weekend. Like being honest, they're underplaying, right? So they're going to look at us as a reset, and we need to look at them as a reset. Different positions, obviously, because they managed to have a win. But I think positively, because I trust Quesada, I trust what he's doing, and I trust his opinion. Until he gives me reason not to, I trust everything that he's doing. I trust his selection. I trust his, trust everything.
Yeah.
He's got 2 weeks. He's got 2 weeks. He's got 2 weeks to try and plug some holes and try to maybe adapt against our position slightly better, and that's the fact, mate.
Yeah, against the French team too, which is something that he really knows well. He knows player. I mean, until last year, he was analyzing those players, the top 14 players. So maybe he has a couple of tricks there. Dussy, he was the former Racing 1992 skill coach. So yes, lot, but what we can improve, of course, I think in sometimes the attacking numbers in the rack, we have to be efficient in the rack, because we have two areas where there is a fierce battle: the air and the ground. The ground is the breakdown, the rack. So we have to be quick, putting off the ball, players in, players out, and sometimes we're still lacking. Samuel is back from the morning. See a little bit of people.
Yeah, people licking their wins a little bit. It's funny that obviously we started with Winston Churchill, and you said fight them from the land, fight them from the air, fight them from the sea. That's what
Yeah.
we're just gonna fight them everywhere, mate. That's let's be honest. But yeah, I think if I was Quesada, first things first, like the easy stuff, right? If we're going to categorize it, and listen,
Easy stuff. Let's go.
I'm sure. Obviously, your coach, you would have done it in far more depth than I would have. But stuff like line speed, right? Like if you're fatigued, okay, fair enough. Like you have an excuse, but you can't really be tired. Like, and I said to you, they looked tired. They weren't bringing any line speed, and when it was, there was dog legs everywhere. The same way that we exploited against England, they were exploiting against us. We looked physically fatigued. We looked physically tired. So line speed, that's an easy thing to fix, right? Like find your slowest man, make sure everyone's running at the same speed as your slowest man. That's simple, right? That's how it should be. One, nice and easy. I think this is where it gets more technical, and I won't say more easy, but like breakdown, right? Easy offensive breakdowns, right? Each person has a role. Make sure you're executing correctly, so we're getting quick recycling of the ball.
A lot of adjustment to do in some areas. Of course, this is now Lucia just came in, but maybe he dig into that so he knows more than me at the moment. That I'm just scrolling through now and see. I saw a couple of stuff that I didn't like. I can tell you here. I can tell you there was a couple of phases where we had like 4 players in the rack, 2 players, 3 players, 4 players, 3 players, 3 players. This is the consecutive racks where we have all those numbers in.
Can we see how many they had against us? 1, 2.
101001. Casey, nobody. Tom O'Toole, nobody. Joe McCarthy, Callan Doris. So
Yeah.
what does it mean? That of course, at
Over-resourcing.
least that multi-phase and everything, those segments of possession for us, they were an area where we have to be better, because of course, if they put one player, we put four, of course they're gonna have always an overload in defense more than in attack, no? Overlap, overload, whatever. And
Yeah.
that is the area. Probably is this adjustment into the new, like we were talking with Leo, no, in the chat, organizing. Here we go. He knows the data more than me. Super efficient, apparently, of course. So trust this guy. Trust this guy here saying what he's saying at the moment. And now we're gonna go through a couple of questions that I saw in the chat. Feel free to ask us any question.
Before we do, Otto, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So with the rucks, right? We're over-resourcing at times, right? And clearly we were under-resourcing at times because we also lost ball there.
We saw,
Right.
yeah.
So is that, in your opinion, is that a decision-making issue, or is that a systematic issue in terms of this is how Quesada wants to play, and we need to work it out a little bit better? Do you think we're just saying, oh, let's fly into that ruck because we're scared of losing possession, and it's actually the wrong decision, you know?
I think sometimes it's the timing of the supporting player, how they arrive, how they clean out. Because if you will see, the efficiency goes through working the less as possible for the best, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
you have to be quick. So you have to do 2 seconds action, 3-second action in attack, in support, whatever. Be efficient, go out. So that is probably the key. Think about the try that they scored. The first try scored when Capozzo is alone in that like 4 versus 1. He's trying to close the option on the outside. But if you look at that action, you can see as Leo said too, the rack, what they do, they go over the rack, they push more the supporting player, and they cut out Garbisi in that occasion. So the time Garbisi adjusts again on the line, Casey pick and go against him. Capozza has to close that gap, but there were 5 people in the last meters. Of course, it's gonna be easy for them. It's textbook what Ireland did.
Yeah.
That's what we have to do. But for me, technicality, working on the ground for the carrier, it's gonna be key. Putting quick this ball out, ready to be played. Presentation and timing of the supporting players doing the right job. Sometimes we did the right job cleaning up people, cleaning up. Think about last year, McColskey try. We clean up too much in the last 5 meters in defense. They pick and go, they rush against Varney, they scored the try with McColskey last year. Their technicality around the area, the battle area, the ground, no, the Churchill ground.
The church. Oh, we need to put a tweet out.
We can put the
yeah. We'll tag him in. We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight from the ground.
I will do it. It's
rude not to.
Couple of questions here. Any info about Fusco injury return? Christopher, probably we're gonna know more this week because Zebra is gonna play against Edinburgh, so we're gonna know more maybe with the new bollettino medico, no, with the new injury information and stuff.
Oof.
Oh wow, meno male che l'ha chiuso così. Let's close. That's fun, don't worry.
Anyway, I think there's I think with
silly boy.
Anyway, I think with Fusco, he was invited, right? So if he was invited as an extra man, we can assume that it's not a long-term injury, because I don't think he would have invited him to camp if he's going to go have surgery and stuff to carry tackle bags. I think it's because he wants him to learn whatever structures he's putting in place. So we don't know, but my gut feeling, and this is all just speculation, my gut feeling is that it's probably not going to be long term, and he might be available at the latter end of the Six Nations, but who knows? Like Otto says, we'll learn a little bit more. We'll learn a little bit more this weekend.
We're gonna learn more. It's gonna be interesting. As we said, for example, some players some of our players are already in their club and they're gonna play. Talking about, of course, the last guest on Fratelli di Rugby podcast, which is Pietro Ceccarelli. Pietro, we just recorded a few couple of hours ago with him, and he's in Perpignan because this weekend he's gonna play. So bad stuff for us, but of course when this is gonna stop, guys, go listen. This we have 10 minutes with Pietro Ceccarelli in English, and then we move on the Italian. But of course, subtitles coming soon, so you're gonna enjoy something. But Pietro Ceccarelli is gonna play this week. Let's see with Zebre Benetton how they're gonna manage those players. Maybe tomorrow we're gonna know more. This week we're gonna know more about the released player.
Yeah, and I also see we've got a question about Dino. I believe Dino
Yes,
has had an injury to his shoulder, right? So he came back from the what was quite a bad knockout, and
it was
then,
really bad how the way he went out. Yeah,
and then from memory he scored a try, and while scoring a try he got injured, wasn't it? But that's what happened. I think shoulder. But I'm not 100%. This is so I'm not 100%. Don't quote me on that. I will get back to you, Eduardo. But I think it was he injured his shoulder. I think.
it was all about maybe the scuff. How you call it? The cuff? La cuff.
The rotator cuff.
Rotator.
Yeah.
Probably that was some problem, and I think that's correct, said Lucio.
Yeah, he's got a lot. He's got a lot of rotator cuff. That man. He's got. He's a big boy.
So think about players: Favretto, Zanon, and Bruno to be released to the franchise this weekend. He's thinking that Kalex, Ciao, and well, those players, of course, maybe the players they didn't play for 2 weeks. Maybe they're gonna be able to. Let's think about who they have in this moment. Favretto can be in the second row more than as number 8 because they have still Tim Stowers and Alafi. So Benetton probably Favretto. Maybe we're gonna see him as a lock for this week. There is him, Ellis Nyman, Gideon something. I have always problem saying that name. Marin Samuele, of course. Marin I think is gonna be released too for this game. Zanon and Fekitoa, I think they're gonna be the pair for Leinster. I have this idea in my mind. Or you think they're gonna play Menoncello or Brex this game?
I think it'd be stupid to be honest. I think like they've just had
For us, yes, of course.
Yeah, I would like to think that Bortolami and Quesada have some sort of discussion and there's an agreement. I don't know, right? I've been wrong before, but it would make sense for them to have Fekatoa and Zanon because although they're second choices in quotations, right? They're still world class players. So like, fine. Oh, Drago, Phantom, good shout.
12.
Yeah,
Number 12. I don't know Riera now how is his situation too, from back from injury at the beginning of the year. But of course they have at least 4 choices there before picking Menoncello and Brex at the moment, at least for this weekend, I think.
Samuel is asked an interesting one.
Garbisi, Alessandro.
Let's talk about him.
Okay, Alessandro Garbisi was dropped for the team this week. I don't think he's gonna fly to Dublin. My thoughts. I think that is gonna be the game of Uran Duvenage. Experience plus experience for that game. You don't need to put more pressure on that guy at the moment.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, no, he needs to build confidence.
My thoughts. My 2 cents on that situation. Maybe Garbisi. It's good that he work on some skills at the moment. Maybe some different understanding. And staying with I think they're staying with the team, right? If some players go, some players stay together, right?
Yeah, they'll stay in camp.
Like that. So maybe I think camp can be helpful in that way. On the other side, for Bruno, so we can end on that side. Bruno is going to be interesting to see him I think yes, released and see how he's playing because he didn't play a lot of game
Saying
time
about
in the.
Jersey as well. Like Jersey will most certainly get released, right?
Yeah,
Has to.
Jesse Bruno, they're gonna go back,
Yeah.
but because Mike, who they gonna put there? That's the point. They have Gregory Prisciantelli Trulla, but then you don't have any cover. I think.
Is Trula back from injury?
I hope so and think so. Maybe we
Okay.
can check. I'm trying to go through some other
Check.
information if I can see somebody walking or not walking on their Instagram stories and stuff. Let's see.
Yeah.
Some players, it's pumped, of course, because Eduardo asking about Cannone seems at least he's
Yes.
gonna miss the Six Nation, not the season maybe, but the nation. And Gabriel, of course, is pointing about the game, how important it is for having a strong tight five to be dominant in some areas. No scrum. Let's see, tight five not only playing in open play, rack after rack, but also just really traditional. The front row pushing and locks jumping and stealing lineouts or putting pressure, right? So yes, I agree.
Samuele, on your point, I think Bernasconi's injured. I think. I'm not 100%, but because again, I think I don't know how long, depending on the grade of the tear of the hamstring, but he came off with a torn hamstring. Like after again, similar to Dino, he got knocked out, failed the HIA. Following week, he got subbed off early, I think. But well, that's the $1 million question. I think
Maile, right?
Yeah.
It's
And
gonna
then
be Suya Maile.
is Frangini still with
No, it's
Benetton?
with my God, with Mogliano at the moment. I'm gonna go back and see if I'm finding on the news of Benetton Rugby if there's some news about players, at least
Yeah.
from a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Alex has just said Bernasconi's injured. Frangini will have to play. Yeah, that's the tough one, isn't it, mate? Yeah, it's
Oh, he's gonna play Zani from the bench as a
Zani.
hooker. Zani
Yeah.
hooker.
Yeah. I'm hoping he's fit. Like I feel like every person we're pulling out the hat here, sadly, is injured. That's a good shout, Alex. If that's the case, then yeah. Here we go. So
Gallo, Maile,
Alex,
Pasquali, Calex. Let's highlight this.
yeah,
Gallo,
Kogelenberg,
Maile, Pasquali, Kogelenberg, Snyman, Pettinelli, Alafi, Stowers. Oh, two number 8, 3 number 8 almost there. Pettinelli, Alafi. Uren, Albornoz, Ratave, Zanon, Fikito, Amendi, Padovani make completely sense this team. Then probably the bench can be lacking a little bit of quality, we can say maybe, or game time. I think about Watson can be what I'm thinking on the bench. And yes, it's still a good team considering the players. Drago, Watson, let's say Duvenhagen, there are 3. So if you go with a 5+3, that's the
props,
situation there. Yes, and then
so
you're gonna
Nemer,
then you're gonna have also Lazzaroni and maybe Favoretto there.
And then Zani Zani at hooker, you're saying, right?
Zani hooker, so yeah, maybe something there. Who's on the right side?
That's it. I don't know, mate.
Who's there?
Struggling. I
Who's there?
literally
Wow.
don't know. I think because obviously Ferrari injured, right?
Ferrari's injured, right?
I wonder when he's coming back as well. Like, obviously, we wouldn't want to throw him into test level straight away. So if he's been all right, maybe this is a game where, no,
nothing here.
Yeah,
because
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be tough, tighthead. I think we could just say that, right? It's going to be tough. Okay, Alex saying Zani
Alongi. Wow.
Yeah.
The guy was missing there. Yes, Alongi, guys. Yes. Favoretto Lazzaroni, Duvenaghi, Umaga, Drago too.
So
Absolutely. We are
Smith's still
there.
injured. Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. That's good. But I
Yes,
mean, not the
Crafton
injuries.
is coming back from injury, so maybe we're gonna see him soon
Hmm.
coming back. Lazzaroni, I didn't know was injured. Bad, but man, that's it for now for them. Of
Make it too
course,
much.
Zebra they're missing less because they have the full team. Let's say on the other side, Zambonin, if he's gonna be released, is gonna be Sisi Krumov. There maybe De Leo is gonna have a little bit of space in second row, and then full back row, front row is the same. If there's no Manfredi, it's gonna be BG Ribaldi. I mean, not big difference there. 9, 10, 12, 13, and everything else, they're gonna be there. The Zebre. Jesse, I'm
Yeah,
sure he's gonna be released.
yeah, almost certainly. So we're going to say,
You can play
Jersey.
Paea Gregory in theory too.
Yeah,
Paea wing on a wing, Gregory on the other one if you want, and you keep Prisciantelli through line the back if he's not injured. Or if not, you play Montemauri 10-15.
yes, yes, and then BG.
BG, the best thrower, the best percentage of the of
He's
at
a
the moment
tractor.
for the Italian hooker. Yes.
Il trattore.
So,
Good question. So,
vado.
vai.
Vado. As someone who is not expert on rugby, what is the main issue with our scrum? Our under 20 sides normally compete well and even dominate in the scrum, even against the bad side. But then, an example, Mr. Gallorini is playing with Mogliano against Vicenza and Petrarca, and Opoku and company is playing up. He's playing with the Saints. Am I
Sale.
right? With
Sale.
with Sale,
Yeah.
and he's playing another one. I'm gonna put another name there. The young prop of the Queens,
Finn
Baxter.
Baxter. So,
Finn Baxter, 2 years ago.
yeah, can I make a point about this? Finn
Go
Baxter,
ahead.
2 years ago, was getting destroyed,
By
right?
Nekulai.
Bearing in mind, by 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 Rizzoli because he was
Oh,
a
Rizzoli,
tight
man.
head.
Rizzoli.
Now he's playing loose head, right? Now he's playing loose head, but he was playing tight head. He's getting absolutely destroyed. Look at what's happened to Rizzoli and Genovese, right? Because they're unfortunately not getting game time. And then you look at Quins, and Baxter has been getting game time, Premiership Cup, all of the different sort of areas underneath. So exactly like Otto said, that is exactly the issue. It's the transition between underage and
Transition.
professional. That's it. That's there's no science behind it.
Just
We
talking
get better
about
with the
Baxter,
transition.
man. He was man of the match against Racing 92 in Champions Cup last year.
Who's that, sorry?
He was man of the match last week. Sorry, Baxter.
Oh,
Sorry.
Finn. Yeah.
Against Racing 92 in Champions Cup last year. So important, like un attacca ci metti, like a milestone there. Okay,
Yeah.
boom, you can do that. So transition, Christopher, it's a big issue for us, and I'm happy to see some of those players having more game time, at least at Zebre, because it's not happening so much at Benetton. Benetton has a different vision at the moment. Let's see in the next years. If you have seen the under 20s, you have seen Scalabrin playing, right? So maybe Scalabrin is playing with Vicenza. Hopefully, next year we're gonna see him playing in URC, Benetton, Zebre, wherever, but trying to fight and to compete on a different level, not just playing. Okay, you're gonna come and play, just because the level is lower.
Yeah. And Christopher, just one last point. There's two different philosophies between the two franchises. So Zebre play the young players, they expose them to the best level, and maybe they don't have as much resources as Benetton have in the backfield, right, to develop the players. Benetton have this monster big roster. The players are getting loaned out to lower league clubs, but actually the training, the nutrition, all of the coaching is coming from like an elite level. So they're all competing, against each other for positions. They're, maybe having a mentor apprentice type approach with some of the positions in a similar player. in some of the players in the similar position, excuse me. And there's like two separate paths here. So it's Connacht, it's Leinster. That's what it was 15 years ago, right? 10 years ago. That's where we're at now. So if Zebra get the quality under 20s, which they have been, and they are getting game time, then they, in 3 or 4 years' time, they're going to pay. They're going to be rewarded with the dividends. So yeah, it's interesting to see sort of how it changes between the two franchises.
I'm gonna bring another example. There are players that are not playing at all, like Quattrini. Monster Quattrini last year is not playing in Piacenza. There are some issues about probably looks like contract playing, not playing for that, politics around there. But that's the difference when you play and you don't play, so you stop growing, implementing your your skill. It's different training for a year and competing in an official match. I mean, 80 minutes of a game is different than a week of training.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. And you pulled out maybe one of the stars of the under-20s last year as well. You know, captain, just, you know, Mr. Dependable at line out. Yeah, hopefully, yeah, that's it. That's all we need to say. Like, a position that we need all the help that we can get in. So hopefully something changes drastically when it comes to transition.
And hey, we didn't speak about the blonde guy, Luigi.
Phantom, you ready?
Let's go into the market. Let's go into the market, Alex.
Let's go fully into the market. Nice transition for that, Alex. Appreciate you.
Yeah. So,
go ahead, my friend.
No, you are the Queens fan. You tell me how you feel about it as an Italian and a Queens fan.
As a Queens fan, I'm disappointed because
I agree.
He didn't get game time after an injury, and the few opportunities he's had to play, he's always done something amazing, right? Like I've watched Lewis for years, right? Genuinely years.
He was under 8 when he arrived.
So I think he's been in the academy. Yeah, so he moved
under
over
13 or something like that.
Yeah. But I've been watching him for years. Even at Richmond, I used to work in Richmond. I used to go to the sports ground a lot. Yeah, he's a brilliant player. And he has bundles of potential. Like, I'm not saying he's immediately a test player, because I think actually that's naive to think that he's just going to walk into a national side. But I think he has the potential to be a very, very good player. I'm really interested to see what our plans are for him. I think I saw a lot of people on Reddit say, oh, it'd be interesting to see him at fullback. And I actually sort of agree. He's very good in the air. He's got a decent boot. I don't know how accurate it is. I don't know how good a game reading he has. But for me, there's an opportunity for him to take a wing, and we're getting some good wingers coming through. So competition,
winger, centers, fullback. The good thing about him is that this season he's playing on the left wing, but he's the best line. We saw him on the right wing at the moment, so that is something that
I'm laughing because of the comments straight away. Like,
he will be called up for France. Gallorini si deve, or we go into some bad stuff. So of course Phantom is pushing for to see Lynagh against France.
Yeah.
So
as an Italian fan,
fair for the team.
I was going to say, right? You asked me as
an Italian fan.
Queens fan. As a Queens fan, I'm devastated. As an Italian fan, I am very excited. Like, Queens aren't going to suffer too much from Lewis leaving. Italy and Benetton can like have a massive opportunity here, like as in getting some decent reward out of it. So very happy, my friend. Very, very net happy. Let's say net happy.
Not happy. Completely Oh no,
the title of the title of this week's podcast. Net
not
happy.
happy. Not happy. Let's talk about the lineup. I'm gonna put in comparison with our wings at the moment. Maybe in this season, he scored 4 tries, Pani 3, Jesse 11. This season, he ran 70 times with the ball, just 8 times less than Pani. 7 clean breaks, one more than Pani. Jesse got 16. Clean breaks, 15 defenders beaten during this season. Jesse 30, Pani 23. And how many minutes he played this season? Because that was an issue. He played 700 minutes. So one game more than Pani and 200 minutes less than Jesse. Johan, of course, this season played 200 minutes. So we're not putting that into the comparison because it's not so much.
Yeah,
These are some couple of stuff. 4 tries, 73% tackle, which is better than Jesse and better than Pani.
I'm going to ask you a question because I know there's a couple of people in our chat. Not to mention any names, Luvo, Phantom.
I agree. I agree.
Monty.
Yes.
Jesse. Argument for and against. Go.
To me, Mori Jesse.
Sorry. Ioane Jesse, scusa.
Ioane against Jesse. Who you want to see?
So who would you keep at test level and why?
So I have 2 different answers. I'm gonna explain you why. Who you want to see at different highest level? For now, you're gonna see Ioane because we only see Ioane. We saw one time Jesse. So when is the right time to put Jesse in? Jesse has to come for me against Wales. I don't know why, but I feel that is the game he has to play. I have this weird feeling about that game. I know it's weird, but that's for me the game that he has to start. I know.
I wouldn't be upset if I saw him. I wouldn't honestly, I wouldn't be upset. I'd be excited. But also Monty's Monty.
Monty's Monty, that's the point. Monty's still Monty. Monty's full Monty.
Yeah, the full Monty.
The full Monty.
Yeah.
There's gonna happen sometimes because
you're right.
Mike, you know what I was thinking? Who was the young player that played for Scotland the other day? Yes, of course I am a Phantom. I'm super weird that I still think Brex is a good player, you see? Boom. Put it there.
Oh, this is fun. Alex, if you're still in, Phantom has been bad mouthing your boy Brex. That is all. That is all. I'll leave that there. I'll leave that there for you guys to discuss in the comment.
Yeah, because no, guys, you have to know that while we are live streaming, they were like going chat on chat in on WhatsApp. Come chat with us. Don't be shy. I see Kips and Lupo there. Come on. There. So Patterson, I like Edward said. Eduardo. I mean, they put these players in the middle. He's 22 years old. Patterson. He played for Edinburgh, like I like to say. This season, he played 4 games this season. He played a total of 9 games in his career. 6 as fullback, 3 as a winger. Why the F? We are waiting to try some players there. You know what I mean? Who's Patterson? He can be the best player in the world in 2 years, but who's Patterson?
Well, it's also Dodge, right?
I think so. I think he's the son of oh my god, I don't remember the big Patterson, one of the more elegant player kicking the ball.
Mr. Perfect.
It was so nice to see him swinging in that way.
So me and my friends, I remember Chris Patterson very, very well. But there was a season where like he hadn't missed a kick, and then like I remember it was like 40 yards out and stuff. He's like, oh, won't take this hoggy, hoggy to this one. Just because he didn't want to risk his perfect score. Anyway, it's funny. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. If we're gonna experiment, if we're gonna grow the team, it's the start of the cycle. Now's the time to put in players. However, if it's a winnable game and it's risk, I'm quite risk adverse. But sometimes I suppose you need a gamble, right? Like you keep doing the same things as Crowley said, you get the same results. That's the sad truth. Here we go, Alex. Oh, you got to put that up.
Alex,
Alex.
come join us. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. Well, your blood pressure will go, mate. Like, we'll leave it at that. But yeah, I think now, right? Like, I want to use Rory Darge as a bit of an analog as well. So Rory Darge was fantastic in the under-20s, captain. People were sort of questioning why he was getting game time ahead of Hamish Watson. Fantastic at the weekend, like fantastic, absolutely fantastic last weekend. Like he is a genuine test player, and it's because Scotland, partly out of necessity, because they don't have the embarrassment of riches that we have at under-20s, right? We have more people to choose from and stuff. They were like, well, okay, we need to start planning for the future. So they did it at the end of the cycle as opposed to at the start of the cycle. But they've got a test player there for 2 cycles now. He's potentially going to get through to 3 World Cups, right? So we need to start looking at the young players and identifying, areas in the summer. I'm me, like Six Nations is sanctity, right? Like we need to try and win games. We need to try and build. But against tier 2 nations, against,
Fiji,
other nations.
Let's go.
Hey, why not? Why not? Hey, what?
No, but if not, he's gonna pass another here, and we're not gonna see him or see other players, right?
Yeah. Or right, let's find out what's happening with Italia.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Let's send them to South Africa. Let's send them places.
And that was the famous Franco Smith thing, right?
Good idea.
To play the Toyota Cup.
It was a good idea.
That never happened. Yeah, absolutely. Alex, just a thing about Ioane playing 14. He was playing 14, but actually was playing on the left wing. So was still playing on his position. I think one time he played completely on the right. I know he got the 14 on the back, but he was playing on the left side anyway. So sometimes they have this weird switch. They put the prop, the tired prop with the number 23 in France, for example. They put 16, 17, and then 23. Many times I was scared, like, Ciccarelli 23, what's happening? No, Ciccarelli was from the bench, was the tired.
comes on and drop goals.
Joel Sclavi 23, like fullback Joel Sclavi. You say, what?
Our boy Pecos had he's got a 50-meter drop goal in him, hasn't he?
Man, I can tell you, he spoke with me. I asked him about when he started the Fox, how came out the Fox. He said about how much time before that game came in and everything. I'm not gonna spoil anything because you have to go listen to the pod or watch the pod.
Love that.
Yeah, the Fox. Come on, he was there. Tell me more.
Oh yeah, that man, the knowledge that is in that man's brain. There's not many people who have survived 3 coaches.
No, more. Brunel.
Oh, Brunel as well. Okay, fine. So 4 coaches. Right?
He came in to play one time because Castro got a red. Cittadini get stuck with the back, so he came in to play, and then he played against Wales and was in the field in the group last game of Castro. So Brunello, O'Shea, Franco Smith, Crowley, Quesada, 5. That's mad. And only 35 caps.
Oof.
Thanks, Alex.
Fair play to him. Hey, and let's be honest, right? We're in a position now where he's gone abroad. He's got experience from loads of different like top level coaches, and it's good that we have players with experience in the team because we lack players with experience in the team. 35 caps, whatever, right? But he's played everywhere, like you said.
a long
He's
time.
been the traveling prop, and he's done well. So yeah, good on Checo. Let's see him grow. Let's see him grow a
I'm
little
gonna
bit
just
more.
say this: it's better to lose,
To lose,
to lose
it's
a
better to lose.
scrum or to eat
Yeah.
a pizza with pineapple that he said is 100 minus. He said, well, I'm gonna eat the pizza, so the scrum.
But like Genovese's dad said when he was on, he was like, "It's not really a fair question because my boy will eat anything."
Guys, this stuff. Oh my god.
Oh, that's funny.
So
Hey,
let's
I'm with you.
man, now the market is open. I mean, because I'm thinking, okay, we said about Lynagh. Happy to see Lynagh back in Italy. We should say, because he's born in Treviso. He was in Treviso his early life. Girlfriend from Italy. La signora Franchini, if I'm right, his mom is Italian. So,
Yes, she is.
oh no, Lorenz, we can do better. We can do better.
Yes, we can do better. But also, I will take maybe losing out on that set piece if Antonio promises to defend like he did against. Hey, I'll take it. We'll just run up. We'll just run behind him and make 40 yards. They'll win the scrum and make 40 yards net even. That's all. That's all I'm asking for. If they're going to beat us in the scrum, Antonio, please defend like you did last week. I'm just what I said.
Yes, of course. Please go ahead like that. Aldrich, please keep doing what you did and all the stuff. Yeah, mamma mia. I know where it has to end. That thing one day is going to end somewhere else. There was a famous torture about this. Put in somewhere. They used to call it the pear. It used to bloom into cavities.
I just want to quickly touch on a market call that Alex put up.
Yes, I'm gonna put it back here, but of course we are talking about Jack O'King. That is his real name, Jack O'King, aka Giacomo Dare.
King.
Yes.
I mean, I think if he was O'King, Ireland probably would have been sniffing for a little while.
Of course. Jack O'King.
Yeah.
Giacomo Dare to Zebras. That's the rumor. But
speculation.
Rumor. Let's speculate about this. Here we go.
So, Otto, go ahead, mate.
Good to see a player that probably is gonna find more game time. Seems that mean at the moment they have Teneggi, the younger. Then they have Prisciantelli, which is the favorite playing at 15 at this moment of the field, to have a different double playmaking from the back. So you have Montemauri. Ritz is gone for good. Eden is going for good.
Is that fact? Is that speculation?
Man, but I don't think he has a contract more longer than two seasons.
So do you think it's like for like? We're seeing Eden potentially go, and we're seeing Darre take his position as third choice.
I think it's a win-win situation there.
Yeah,
you got an Italian qualified player, first of all, in the national team. Anyway, was always around that. What else? Still young.
Yeah, and
10,
Crowley said he was the third best 10 in the country, right? Like, and Crowley knows a thing or two about selection. So, and for what it's worth, right? I know Darre is probably someone who suffered the fact that he got sort of shoehorned into a 10 at 21 years old. They probably should have made the transition sort of 5 years earlier in the under-20s if they were going to do it. I really like the way he plays. Like, I genuinely really liked the way he plays. I love the fact that he takes it to the line. His anticipation for how he plays is for the attack is second to none. And if you guys go back and listen to what Halafihi said about him in our interview, he said he does stuff that some of the other players can't do, and that's high praise, right? Like in camp, in our Italian camp. So I think it's a really, like you said, it's a win-win move. I think there's good opportunity for the Zebra to uncover a bit of a gem there, you know.
Robert Bebeto, yes, I was just clicking on All Rugby 2. I said yes, it's 2025 the contract for Eden, but this season he didn't see game time. How many minutes he played this season, Eden?
Bagel?
Let me see. My God,
Because he was meant to start and he got injured, didn't? Or sorry, he was meant to start and they said he got injured, and then I don't think he's played since.
he played 117 minutes.
So first two games, right? Yeah,
two games, November and one in December.
Oh, he did play win. Okay.
He started the win against Sharks and the loss against Cheetahs.
All right, fair play. I mean, it was a heavy loss against Cheetahs. I remember that game. Never mind. Let's not talk about.
Yeah, but anyway, this can happen. Like release contract, heavy contract. Maybe it's bad. It's good for both. And let's see. And yes, Forza Italia, Forza Azzurri, dagli forte, always and ever. Let's see this, because this is another situation as number 8, right? Shall we keep playing with Lamaro out of position or putting Lamaro in his right spot? I think Lamaro in the right spot at 7 is the best thing to do now. And man, Vincent Alafi, bring both and see what's gonna happen. For now, they see also Favoretto as a back row, but yes,
yeah, I'm 150% in agreement. I like Halafihi is a brilliant player. Like he is an absolutely brilliant player. I'd love to see him called up. And like you said, right, Lamaro looks like it should work in face value, right? Because you see like a player with good hands, and it's almost like a loose forward in rugby league. Like, we talked about Tiziano a lot, right? Last year.
That's true.
One of the biggest things I liked about him, apart from his abrasiveness, is the fact that he could pass with both hands, right? It looks like it should work, but it doesn't. It just doesn't work. So I'll hold my hands up. Like Lamaro, I think stick to your position because you're fantastic there. But we need a specialist eight. I'm big advocate of specialist eight.
So Vincent is the specialist at the moment, really fast. Yep. But depending how we're gonna balance this back row, we see how it's important when Negri charge. Who's gonna charge in this? If we put, for example, this now that Phantom put, which is a fair team to play against France, quick and with everything, but you put Lamaro back, you're gonna put Zuliani from the bench, starting to play again the best that he can do.
Yeah.
And
I think I don't. The problem is, right, it's the returns. So Seba will run 1,000 times, and he will run 1,000 times to make a meter. Like, and he'll the volume that the volume of the carries that he goes through isn't, line breaking like some of the other players that might run and bust the line and make some decent yards. He's literally non-stop gonna suck in defenders. That's his job, right? That's his role, right? Like he needs to make a dent, like force people to tackle him. I don't think we have other players that can do that as effective as he can in our team. Maybe Cannone, big Cannone. If when he carries, it takes a couple of defenders to take him out, right? But not at the level, the volume that Netseb goes through. So if we're looking at the back row we just spoke about, Izikor, Vincent, Lamaro, it's all of them. It's the answer. To make up for what we're lacking in Seb, all of them have to carry. Like, all of them have to find something, right? Not at the same time, obviously, but like they need to, all of them need to chip in because I think we're going to struggle otherwise.
Let's see, but because here I see Orazio a little bit more disappointed about Lamaro and Alafi, but the point is, if they don't play, who's gonna play? We're gonna put the Zebre players in. I'm happy with it, but we have to be ready to also to not start blaming as crazy if a player is gonna mess a game or just not having the best debut. No, talking about Giacomo Ferrari, no, because he was one of the players in the team. Licata is injured because if not, that's something that we have to do better and better with Licata. Licata was somebody that in theory was a prospect, but we see a lot of injuries just before the main important game situation. I don't know how to say the international collapse, let's say.
He was touted to be an Italian captain. Like people thought he was going to be the next Italian captain, right? Like he was very held in very high regard, and he's a great player. Like he's a great player. But yeah, I think if we're looking on the point, right, Halafi, he was just, we look at last Six Nations, and this is actually maybe where our stat men can come in, right, with Ottavio and Lucio. I'm pretty sure he was one of the top post-meter contact carriers in the Six Nations last year, from memory, right? He was abrasive. He did the dog work. He's just a busy player. And I'm not saying our back row aren't busy, but he's more effective, based on what I've seen, right? Bad game. Everyone deserves a second chance, but should he be called up into camp? Yes, he should be called up into camp. Whether he should go straight into a game or not, that's a different question. But yeah, absolutely should be called up in my eyes.
And here they already he's calling for Tizzano,
Worth.
so careful. He's gonna work.
Worth.
Polledri technically is injured, Vincenzo. We don't know more. There's a lot of speculation around. We're gonna just leave the media selling their views and see what's gonna happen later on. Yes, to click a little bit there with a hook and a worm. Sometimes not, but still, we cannot think about Polledri at the moment. Think about also game time and stuff like that. But Itzegor never gained the ball. Yes, of course, he never get the ball. But we never get the ball in our hands.
We have to have possession. We have to have possession to have the ball.
That's the point, right? Having more possession.
Of course, he didn't have the ball. Of course.
Okay, his phantom call for Tizzano is gonna come. So let's start.
Yeah,
let's start.
Put Alex,
all your.
2022. You're right, Alex. Yeah.
2022. Let's see what's that. But hey, let's see there, because who can be another qualified for Italy that we need a number 8 at the moment? Nobody else. At least,
so I think if we're looking
names,
at prospects, we've got Andreani, we've got Ferrari. Andreani obviously injured, but Ferrari, Tizzano, we've got Vincent capped now. He needs to get game time.
Soon Botturi can be a good one because he's a good player, I think.
I'm trying to think of Jack Ferrari's.
Jack Ferrari 6'8". His more than 6. I would like to see him 6.
Ferrari, Vincent. Who was the other? Andreani. Never mind.
Andreani. Yeah. But Ferrari was playing also back lock.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. I was trying to work out. Who the other back row was, but it was Vincent. That 2021 under 20s year was perfect, wasn't it? It was brilliant. Bianchi.
Orazio, of course, they are not at that level, but we have to let them grow and see. Not all the players are ready at 22. Somebody are ready at 24. We need somebody 28 years old and be good. Think about Lamba. Dino Lamba is 25 already, 26, I think. Yeah. But è buono come il pane, Mr. Dino. No? So, of course, vabbè, Gazzotti, boys. Gazzotti, Italo-Lithuanian, French. Triple passport, and of course, and Favoretto, guys. Favoretto is young, and then let's see where is gonna be his real position, because probably that is a situation, right, to think about.
Excuse me.
He's gonna be a lock, number 8. once he start to specialize one thing, he's gonna get better. I think.
I think honestly, I've had this discussion a lot. I think we just keep him at lock. Like, I think if
With
we have an
those
abundance of back
pointy
rows,
knees running around.
I'm going to check now. I'm pretty sure he's 196 centimeters from memory. Right, this isn't right. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to have a look now. Rugby.
Yeah, Marini is the other good prospect coming. But guys, let's talk about like now.
Sorry,
Today.
2 meters.
No, he's one of the few players hired as 2 meters because we don't have a lot of them.
He's 22 years old. Why aren't we playing him at lock? Like that's my eyes, right? We've got so many back rowers. Yes, it's nice to have, as Eddie Jones says, a 10, a 4, and a 6, right? Oh, get out.
Get out.
Liverpool, get out. No.
Get out. Let's see, man. I want to see the shot shield this year to see what's gonna happen against the Australian, Fijian, Pacificans. It's gonna be interesting to see him.
Yeah, hopefully he goes like a man possessed, ball in one hand. Just just like from the 22 starts his descent to try and like put the ball down over the line.
Yeah, and then start the Goonies. Man, today I'm doing the best.
Like that.
Man, today I'm gonna push the best of me from the pear that opened in Blooming. Ciao, Phantom. Ciao.
But yeah, I think locks would be an interesting one because we did have some really nice locks in the under 20s. I think most of them have gone to France, right? We've got
Ortombina there. We have Gritti there. It's a lock 6.
Mattioli went there as well, right?
Mattioli Racing 92. So we have some names there. Some others gonna come.
Who's the one that went to Benetton and then left? He was really good.
Which of the good ones?
No. He got. I don't know if he's still there or not. If he went to Piantella, that's it.
Yeah, Piantella is Zebra now.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's good. Yeah, he was at Benetton though, right?
Yes. Cool. Young him, Andreoli, I think he's playing with Mogliano at the moment. So, but anyway, you see, but for now we have those players, and the situation is still hard. But if we're gonna have some good news around from other, yes, that's the point. Those are not they're good prospect, but now, as I'm saying, Orazio Cannoncino is good, but we need more now. And who we have to play there? Ligata is injured. Vincent Ferrari, Favretto can be the option if they want to play like that, and see. Turrisi, true tired locals in France. Yes, we have a lot of those guys. Just to be good.
Well, we also had Aserati, but he's been capped, right?
He's been capped. Keylon Assirati.
Yeah, so
who's gonna play for against Leinster? Odogu, no, Ratave Mendy Padovani, of course, but next year, who's gonna be the 14 and the 11?
Ratave Mendy Padovani, it has to be, right?
Yeah, but next year, next season.
Right.
Lynagh Godogu, 11-14, yes.
Mendy, when does his contract end? Because I assume he's probably getting looked at by some, like, he suits the French game more than he suits the Benetton game, right?
Ignacio Mendy, let me check now his contract. Let's see if Robert is faster than me this time. And I can tell you a little bit more. So he has a 2024 only. Wow!
Yeah, so
don't tell me
makes
at the end of the season.
Yeah, it makes sense. So realistically, we're probably going to have a couple of. Let's prepare ourselves for.
No, 2025. 2025.
Okay, so it's 2024 plus one, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he has.
Man,
okay.
You know who's is ending at the end of the season? Ratave.
Smith.
But. Man, but makes sense because he's 31 years old. You sell it now, you get some money back, and you get a good one. You get Gallagher, This,
It's like part exchange. It's like a car.
my God,
um,
he's
yeah. I mean, yeah. Oh, there we go.
man.
I'm sure he probably would. In fairness,
Ciao Sol, Seb Day, fit. If you want to crash harder ball, yes, Seb is the right one. But man,
yeah,
think about so. One thing I said on the Italian chat, on my chat, like, do you realize how good is for Quesada? It's bad and good, but there were issues about we want to see playing better Itzekor, we want to see Giuliani playing there, and then the injuries came in the right moment to give opportunity, forcing opportunities to those players without putting in under pressure Quesada more than already he had.
yeah. That's a really
Because
good point.
so he can do this stuff, so we can see as a fan some player trying to perform at international level. For injuries we have these opportunities. For me, this is in a sense, Quesada is really lucky to have this just now at the beginning of this cycle, to have these situations.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And like you said, it was it was almost like the perfect storm, right? We
Right,
needed to see depth, but then also it's up to the players to take the opportunity.
exactly. So
So
it's gonna be
you look at
interesting to see Giuliani, how he's gonna react after this couple of games where defense was really good last week, but we want to see the catching, the juggling of Giuliani. We want to see not the ball falling from his hands, because he's not dildo hand. How you call him? Who's
James Haskell.
dildo hand? Haskell.
James Haskell, yeah,
Come
James
on,
Haskell.
today we put also dildo hand in the middle.
But my point is right. You hit you've hit the nail on the head. But a small change in role, right? Because obviously Lamaro's the one that normally plays the ball. Lamaro's the one that normally gets the ball. And to his credit, he was doing that. But also, it almost seemed like Giuliani's, he was a bit confused about what he was meant to be doing on the field. Like, I said this at the time, if you're going to be a dummy runner, you always expect the ball. How many times did he have his hands up and he knew he was a dummy runner, but they chose him as an option, and it just didn't go right. It just didn't go right, right?
Yeah, and to come back to the Ireland game, that big tackle by McCarthy on Garbisi is because he reads so well the body position of Cannone, putting the ball in that way, but without faking. The run was fake,
They didn't
was
buy it. Yeah,
really they didn't buy it because they're used to playing that way. Whoever forward of Ireland you put there, he knows how to pull back pass, flat pass, and keep the ball after the fake. So
yeah,
why they are so good? For that reason, Claudio, buonasera. But
yeah. Well, like you said, I think it's because we were trying to play Ireland at their own game, a game that they have
they know
developed
so
over
well.
many. Bane in
Yeah,
Batman. He's like, you. I was molded by. They molded that game. Yeah, well, they molded that game. We were only slowly introduced to it because it suits our style of play. But
it's been years, like probably 10
years.
years. George Meet Farrell through my cat there. So
Lorenzo coming in with the dagger to my heart, my friend.
boom.
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine
We got.
just that. Let's give them the scrum, but just
Yeah,
keep at least the line out to play around.
yeah.
It's a big thing there.
My friends were messaging me when we were in Rome, right? And they were like, "What's going on?" And I said to them, "I was like, we're not going to win games against the best team if our lineup doesn't work." And I think we had a 75% last week. I think. Oh,
He
sorry,
wasn't that
against.
good. Wasn't
I think,
so good like we want to.
but this was what 50%.
Man,
I can't remember. I was going through it, but it
no,
was lower,
no.
and our attacking platforms were a lot worse, right?
Yeah, but tomorrow night probably I'm gonna be on Fratelli di Rugby speaking in English with the analysis. So I'm gonna give more data, more videos to show.
Um,
Statman.
but yeah, like I think you hit the nail on the head, Lorenzo. Sadly, right, we we will not beat the best teams if we don't have a functioning lineup. And you can almost get away. You can almost get away with having a crappy scrum in the right positions in the pitch if you have a lineup that works very very well. Because obviously you could still ball back and stuff, but we had a okay scrum in the second half. We still had no lineup. So like why would they be afraid to play it out because they know when they kick it out it's going to be net positive for them like in every single opportunity. That's the issue.
It is. But for example, yes, they're one of the weakest spot, but last Six Nations Sol, we were the second best team for line out. So let's give
Ruzza
the
was
Italy and Ruzza what is of Ruzza, no? Andiamo a
Ruzza was the
cedere
second
quel che
best.
dice se. No, Sol, last season, last Six Nation. Trust me, go look at the stats. There is a good
Yeah,
report. The Six Nation reports are available for everybody. You have just to go on World Rugby and you can find the report and you're gonna see something. And of course BG. But BG, why is not BG there? I think because like Morisi, they're gonna keep only somebody that can be really different from the other ones. And what Brex is bringing. Why I'm saying Brex? Because it's the only plus 30 years old with Allen that we have. Blex is the best puller passer that we have. It's another playmaker there. No, I'm sorry because Mr. Phantom is out and Kalex too, but Brex is still fundamental for our game because
yeah.
in theory we need 12 and 13 able to do that quick,
I'm
fast.
yeah. This is the point, right? It's not always it's not always um it's not always like that player played bad, let's swap them. It's who do we have to replace them? That's the question, right? That needs to get answered. But I think with the discussion we were having earlier, and this is a question for the chat more than anything, do you guys think Brex, like, do you guys personally see Brex as, for now, a structurally significant, structurally important player for us? Like, or do you think players like Zanon, players like Lukin, for example, come in and potentially, do a job there?
Zan. Let's see what gonna say. But for now, still Brex is Brex. The Brexit it's
The
around the
Brex.
corner for the age, but let's say it was gonna happen. But anyway, Mike, what's gonna be next week? That is interesting, no? We're gonna have more news about the market. We're gonna have two key games for a young Zebra team and a different strong Benetton team against Leinster.
Yep.
And let's see what's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
I
So,
think.
busy week.
Yeah. I think I'd like to see the players that were in camp get game time. The ones that didn't play. So
I hope they're gonna put more dubs in case other choices, right? Like playing
yeah, well,
the
that's the
best
point.
they can.
Need to make it as difficult as possible for them, right? So, yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one. I mean, who are your predictions for next week? Like, let's go into that then.
Man, that's hard. I want to see. Man, okay, so can Benetton win this game like a crazy? Maybe yes, but really tight game in Dublin. They're missing some key players anyway. Conan, Seran Frowley, Ring Rosenshaw. So the experience is gonna be maybe the experience about age and stuff on the Benetton team, but it's gonna be still hard. They're gonna have Ngatai at 12, I suppose. one of the O'Brien playing at 10 and stuff like that. But I want to see both win, and probably they can snitch victory if they gonna show what they are. Still, Benetton and Zebra can fight. The most interesting game between the two is gonna be Edinburgh Zebra, my opinion. More open, more crazy, more Foggia style, Zemanlandia, Zebrelandia.
More passion, more footwork,
more energy, and on the other side a lot of kicks
yeah,
pushing them there with defense. So
yeah, mate. I'm 100% on board with that train. I think Zebra have a really good opportunity here, like really, really good opportunity. So as long as they don't, as long as they don't potentially see it as Edinburgh, because it's going to be a depleted Edinburgh, and they don't let the occasion come to them. Their young side, like we've still got players like Nocera who haven't made an appearance and need game time, right? So be good to see how he fares, and maybe he can stake a claim as well. So I think we're in a good spot next week.
Yeah, here, guys, the chat is crazy. This is a couple of quotes from a couple of movies. I'm gonna give you this movie, L'allenatore del pallone, with Lino Banfi, Mike.
Right.
We have to try the Bizona. Those are the stuff. But I'm gonna just try to answer this. We need to know we have other option there. They function. If Brax get injured, for example, then what? A 12 or a 13 that can do that kind of move?
We don't have it really.
Get busy, Marin.
Oh! There we go, Lupo. This is your nightmare. You've asked the question. We put Manoncello at 13. We bring Mighty Marin back in. The whale hunter, the whale slayer.
The whale slayer.
The whale slayer.
The ice in the vein dropper.
The flu boy beat Wales, man, and he. Oh yeah, mate. We can. You know what? Let's put Marin at loose head. Let's just see what you can do. Let's just see what you can do.
And let's put Mauro Bergamasco at 9.
Yeah, mate. Nothing could go wrong with that. I think I'm on board. But no, joking aside, right? Playmaker at 12 is, people complain about the dual playmaker. We are distinctly worse without two playmakers. Distinctly. Alan last week was exceptional.
But if we want to play with two strong carriers, okay, let's go. But we need to work hard for those two carriers too, because they have to carry the ball. But it's easier to defend on one line, not for the defense.
Oh yeah, I mean, unless you've got some sort of beast in backfield,
and or overlap like crazy. But okay, Modi push Ben. But let's see where he's going, and this is interesting. I think we can wrap it up on this, Mike. I expect from me a total mains revolution after the Six Nation calling and role changes. He's gonna arrive there. That's probably really on spot on, because the quesada is just starting, no? The quesadism.
Actions are what I'm interested in. Actions. We've heard too many words from many coaches. Actions.
Yeah, this is a classic from him. Every time he's in the field, he does that. Also, when he's playing for Toulouse or for Grenoble, he was a former 9, so he knows how to keep the ball with everything. But anyway, 1 hour 28 minutes in, more than a game.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody to stay with us today. See you next week on Monday for the review. Maybe the weekend we're gonna be live for some watch along, depending on our families how busy they are, because sometimes it's that. If there is sun, probably I'm gonna be out. And watch this. It's really interesting. Pietro Ceccarelli, 10 minutes English and the rest in Italian, but a lot of good stuff. So give us a like, follow, share, listening us everywhere. And rate us on Spotify. Help us rating us on Spotify, guys.
Guys, on Otto's point, if you guys give us a like and a share. If you guys have got any sort of rugby WhatsApp chats, makes a massive difference to us. And obviously we've been getting some really good engagement the past since we started really in May, but like the past few weeks have been like brilliant. So if you want to help us out, just give us a like, give us a share, and rate us.
And send us a message on Instagram if you want to join the WhatsApp chat, because it's funny. We have some good people saying ciao and grazie. So grazie.
Grazie a tutti.
Oh, that's it, Mike. Ci vediamo
Peace.
settimana prossima.
Ciao.
So let's go with our music.